is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop. So this was a video I was going to make a couple of days ago, and I'm glad I waited, right? I'm really glad I waited because I got more material that made it, I think, stronger. Black Widow's coming out. There you go. Black Widow is coming out soon. So I think July 9th, so it's about a week away, a week or two away, and it's really fascinating because, you know, the whole Emperor's Got No Clothes thing has really happened, right, to Marvel movies, I think movies in general. I didn't realize, don't think any of us did, how much these movies were sold on Hype-nosis, right, where they get us hyped up. It's like, oh, we're excited, because we think it's going to be good, but like now I think, when we've seen quite a bit of Phase 4, WandaVision, or was it Winter Soldier, and now Loki, which all has exactly the same trajectory. They start off like really big, oh, first episode, yeah, then go like that as soon as they get into agenda. I think it was the moment in Winter Soldier and Falcon and Winter Soldier where there was a second or third episode where the cops are like, to Auntie Mackie, to what's her name? Winter Soldier asking about Auntie Mackie. Is this man bothering you? You know, like I think most people, that's what happened. They lost a lot of traction at that time. Loki is boring as hell, full of agenda, and I think a lot of people see it now. That being said, the MCU going woke is somewhat different from the other franchises going woke. The Doctor Who, Star Trek, Star Wars, in that they've managed to maintain decent quality, right, with their messaging. Normally, again, Doctor Who's a great example. Star Trek Discovery, another fantastic example, that they have the messaging, but the quality of the writing is just atrocious, right? In general, I think the quality of the product of the MCU is still very high, right? It's still extremely high, which I find a little bit more obnoxious. But, you know, look, as much as I think this is going to be obnoxious, bigoted, racist garbage, you know, I have to also remember that I have neighbors who's got their daughters, what, about 14, maybe 12, 13, 14, 15, I don't know how old she is, right? She's super excited for this movie, and I think there are a lot of young girls who are enjoying the MCU Phase 4, which I don't think is true about Star Trek Discovery, Star Wars, maybe a little bit of Star Wars, or Doctor Who, because the quality is just garbage. But, you know, so listen, I'm happy for my neighbor's kid to be excited by it. And, you know, when I was talking about it with her on Sabbath. On Sabbath, everyone's offline. And, you know, you go out, you go for a walk around the block, you see your neighbors. It's very nice. It's really quite pleasant. I recommend it. Well, I recommend it in Israel where the weather's nice. In walking around Birmingham, you know, not so much. And nothing about Birmingham, it's just the first city that came to mind. So I was like, I was saying, oh no, I could see her excitement in it, and she was like, oh, but then she says, they should have done this in 2014. I'm like, yes, then I would have been so on board for it. And you know, Scarlett Johansson, I think 7 years is showing, right? I hate to say it, you're a very beautiful person. You were hotter when you were younger, and I think that's an intrinsic part of the character, and without recognizing it is a bit weird. So anyway, the pre-publicity is coming out for this, and it's fascinating to look at. It's fascinating to look at them building up the Hype-nosis when we know they're full of crap, right? We know the king's got no clothes on, right? The emperor's got no clothes. Although I did read a pre-review in the Times of Israel, a Jewish, an Israeli newspaper, and I'll teach you a Jewish word, they're kvelling. They love it. Firstly, they're woke as hell, right? They're woke as hell. But secondly, everybody's Jewish in this, right? You got Rachel Weisz, you got Scarlett Johansson, and there's lots of Jewish womanhood going on. So the female movie reviewer, who normally hates superhero movies, was absolutely cavelling about was about this movie. Fine. So before we get into it, can you hit the like button? Freaking awesome! Thank you very much. Can you hit the share button? Even awesomer, I would say. Even awesomer than the like button, like, share, subscribe to my every women desire. or just hit the subscribe button. Whatever you want, baby, whatever you want. Funnily enough, subscribing to my Every Women Desire basically is covered by hitting the subscribe button. Like, share, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and check out my Indiegogo. Again, this is part of my subscribe to my Every Women Desire. I have 2 freaking awesome comic books on sale. I got to update this campaign. I'm so behind. We got the biblical Bible source, Ace of Trace of Ashton Road, 220 pages of pure goodness. I wrote and drew that one. I wrote this one, The Imperium, a love letter to Telly Fancy of the 105 pages long. Dominic Ratcho did the art, and he did all the extras on the art. This is Noble Savages. Yes, Leela, Raquel Welch from A Million Years BC, K9, and H.G. Wells' Time Machine. Why are they together? Who cares? What are you asking? What's wrong with you? Fine. So let's look at this story. Well, firstly, the reason I'm glad I waited is because of this story over here. The critic score revealed, and it's not looking good. It's not tracking well. That's the thing. I think this could be the first Marvel flop. I think people aren't rushing to go back to the cinema. I think a lot of people are going to pirate it. I mean, that's a lot of people are going to pirate it. By the way, because I'm crazy religious, and so I don't want to steal. But I'm not paying $30 for it either. Sort of. What I would do is I would buy a cinema ticket, then illegally download it, right? And why? So I can review it. That's it. That's basically. I want to feel like I paid for it. Hopefully, you know, when I die and I go up to the Heavenly Court, they'll go, that was okay. That did the trick. You weren't stealing. But, you know, who knows what dares to dream. So, let's start over here. Critic reviews as from Disney and Marvel Studios, upcoming Black Widow will stream on $30, blah, blah, blah. It's got an 89% with 47 fresh reviews and 47 fresh reviews and 6 reviews. The average rating is 7.10 out of 10. So normally these things get much higher buzz, right? The for 89, I would expect this to be a 95. That it's 89 is indicating that it's not a great movie. And if it's not a great movie, they are sunk, right? They are absolutely sunk. So here's what the critics are saying. John Oleksinski at New York Post gives it a 3 out of 4. The movie vibe isn't like your average MCU entry at all, really. It reminds me of the many James Bond films where 007 goes rogue and cavorts around. He did that in one movie. And it wasn't, license revoked? Did he do that again? When did he go rogue? I guess at the beginning of Skyfall? Yeah, he'd left, but did he go rogue? I think once, just once. So they gives a movie a rotten score. He says, like the young Natasha herself, Black Widow feels as though it's been programmed into submission and scarcely allowed to live and breathe before it's suddenly over. Yeah, listen, it's missed its moment. It feels like it's absolutely missed its moment. 2.5 out of 4. The stakes are non-existent, no matter how many times bad guy or girl aims a gun at your beloved hero. We know she has a specific end game. Yeah. So it's not looking good for it, right? They basically. They made this movie because she was a popular female character, and Me Too happened, and they got stop press. There's a sign from Jewish Chronicle over here. Jewish Chronicle, the official organ of English jury is what we used to call it. And I lived in England. Shortland and her writing team had given us a film that is more ingrained in spy movie genre than the usual superhero fodder. Okay, so I like spy movies, quite frankly, but I think it's going to have a lot of agenda in it, right? A lot of agenda. And I think people are kind of sick about that right now. I mean, much more now, right? Basically, everything's the opposite that Hollywood always thinks. You know, they thought when they made Wonder Woman 84, everybody would hate the former president. They would hate him, and they would rally around their cry of like the clearly Erstat's president, whoever what's the name again? The Mandalorian guy, right? He was supposed to be the former president, or what's the word? A surrogate for him, right? But the truth is, people are just not interested in Hollywood's lecturing, I think. And I think this is one of the main reasons why it's going to get its arse handed. Also, people don't want to go to cinemas. There's a lot going on. So with that said, let's check out this article. And again, we're going to see through it because this is pure Hype-nosis. So this article comes from the last SFX magazine. Zoom in a little bit. Doink, doink, doink. We're here. Zoom out a touch. Second. For Natasha Romanoff, aka Black Widow, finally getting a solo cinematic day in the sun has been a long time coming, and it should have been 7 years ago. The character played by Scarlett Johansson was first introduced 11 years ago in Iron Man 2. Look, smoking 11 years ago. Wow. And went on to become a primary player in 6 more Marvel Cinematic Universe, including all 4 Avenger installments. And pretty much the entire time, audience were asking for Romanoff's own showcase movie, which they did. We figured we'll kill her off first, and then we'll do it for you. That might shed some light on the enigmatic Russian-trained spy assassin who gets the job done without the benefit of superpowers. Do you think the what's the name, Jennifer Lawrence Black Widow ripoff, Red Sparrow, doing badly? Do you think that torpedoed this movie? I think it probably did. I think they might be connected. Black Widow movie became a reality in 2018, just after Me Too, with the first pass script in hand and a very broad search for the studio's first solo female director to helm it. Identity. And again, they were thinking, oh God, yes, we're breaking the glass ceiling. Yes, it's all going to be good. No. At San Diego Comic-Con 2019, Kevin Feige, formerly announced Hansen, and director Kate Shortland, and supporting cast including Florence Pugh, Rachel Weisz, David Harbour, along with a first May 2020 release date, which would formally open Phase 4 of MCU. Then COVID happened, MCU releases halted, and Romanoff had already experienced a very real demise in Endgame, and this prequel set post-Avengers Civil War began to feel tardier in terms of pop culture, I guess, and was bumped to November, then to May 2021, finally receiving a global release in July. Okay. While director Kate Shortland finished her work on Black Widow in early 2020, she's since seen audiences around the world go even more motivated to return to cinemas. No, she hasn't. And again, this is a puff piece. This is a shilling because this is SFX, right? SFX are ideological shills. Around audiences and grow even more motivated to return to the cinemas, where they'll be able to celebrate Romanoff's past together in a darkened room, and the director can finally reveal her very female gaze view of the character. That's it! That's why I'm not interested. It is basically, like most comic book superheroines, they're designed to titillate young boys, like 8-year-old boys, to make you go, oh, that makes me feel horny. Yeah, and they don't even realize it. That's what this character is for. That she was written with some layers and nuance. Is a good thing. Yeah, let's be sure, is a good thing. But still, aim to completely forget the male gaze and go, oh, we got to do a female gaze, I think is just... They listen, I think they could have got away with this if this was the first or second time up to bat, but... You know, Captain Marvel, Stunning Brave Ray, who, look, the sequel trilogy of Star Wars has been completely erased, isn't it? Why? Because nobody gives a crap. Same with this. Nobody's going to give a crap. They're playing off a relationship we formed with the character back when the world wasn't insane, as it is now. Robin has traditionally subsumed herself into whatever the mission dictates. In this film, however, Shortland made it a priority to capture the real Nat, a woman who was still resting with a legacy as a powerful presence within 2 found families. One of her Russian Red Room life, and the other the bond she shared with the Avengers. On paper, the Australian writer-director may not seem like a good choice for such a heavy action film. Yeah, well, honestly, they have people come in and do all the action stuff and special effects stuff. You know, it's kind of like in the Israeli army when you know they give women you know on their assault calls they have lower bars to get to pass. So so they could have you know the same number of women and men in combat units in certain combat units. They lowered the standards. Same thing happened here. Same thing happened here. And look, from everyone's reviews said it's a fun, not fun. It's a spy. It has a spy movie feel. So yeah, and that really was the great thing about the MCU, right? They took on different genres. I like the Captain America movies. They were very first it was a World War II movie. Then you had like political thrillers. That's why I think Robert Redford was such great casting. And what was that, the second one? So yeah, and you know they morph into different genres. It's just like I think when you're going to fill it with the gender, as this clearly is, you're not looking good. You're not looking good. In fact, when she was approached by Marvel Studios, longtime executive Brad blah blah blah. Regarding the job, Shortland tells SFX candidly, she didn't really understand why they were coming to me. Because you have a vagina. Because you have a vagina and your job is a director. That's why. But Wonder Woman had explicitly has been explicitly interested in finding filmmakers with a unique point of view, like Peyton Reed, Taika Waititi, and now Shortland. Yeah, but then they stuff them if they're into like the cookie cutter Marvel universe, MCU. Like Taika Waititi works within that MCU cookie cutter film, which made abundantly clear in now short, which made in initial call when I spoke to them about what they wanted, why they approached me, because you have a vagina and you're a movie director. That's why, and about the journey they wanted to take these characters on. Let's see what you could. I could understand, she explained. Well, again, I'm sure they fed you a line of BS, right? I'm sure that's what happened. She explains that was all really cemented when I spoke to Scarlett. As a champion of Romanoff since Jon Favreau cast her in the role, second choice. It's amazing me, was it Emily Blunt was the first choice. I just... Like Scarlett Johansson is stunningly beautiful, and for me, is the perfect Black Widow. I can't imagine that she was the second choice. So Johansson had a lot to say about who was going to direct Black Widow. A fan of Shortland's 2012 film Law, the actor instigated their first connection by asking the director for a list of her favorite films. The two then exchanged a list. And they discussed them. It was really beautiful, Shortland said, with a smile. Okay, I'm glad you had a good time. We could just see we had similar taste, but also, again, you're a couple of chicks. You're a couple of chicks, and you're making an action movie for 8-year-old boys. And if it's not going to be for 8-year-old boys, people are going to look at it like The Last Jedi. People are going to look at it like the Rise of Skywalker. Like, what? It feels weird. It feels wrong. And the Hype-nosis is over. You can't convince us anymore. And it's amazing. Like, say, watching this with, like, with different eyes. Like, with the eyes of, like, oh, they're lying to us. They're lying to us to build up hype. We see we had similar tastes, but the films also we liked what we liked about them and what they had as heart. Whether it was an art house film or a commercial film, there are many art house films, let's be honest. It was about a character's journey. What we tried to do with Black Widow was really give her a strong journey throughout. Will that strong journey be about you overcoming the inherent bigotry that you face because you're a woman? Will that be the journey? Because we kind of see that coming a mile away, right? We do kind of see that coming a mile away. Shortland then presented the team a picture or standard for new directors coming into Marvel that visually relayed her version of Black Widow would look and feel like. Working with editor Danny Lachever and in Australia, Shortland cut together an amazing trailer featuring music videos and films that presented a sense of choreography of warfare. We looked at lots of films where they really regimented music videos where they almost used Busby Bursley fascist lines, okay, and things like that. She explains it's almost that, and in amongst that was a woman and a child in a very vulnerable situation. And what I did because I knew the character had died in Endgame was connect to the idea of eternity. Again, listen, it was very, very obviously a reaction to Me Too. This was not in the initial plan, and it was very obviously a reaction to Me Too. And let me be clear: when I say reaction to Me Too, they were reacting to their hatred of Trump, which is weird, seeing as Me Too was caused by Clinton, right? Wasn't it? Clinton protected Harvey Weinstein. No newspaper would publish it until Trump won, and then the New Yorker published the expose on Harvey Weinstein, which everybody freaking knew about, right? Everybody freaking knew about it. Nobody gave a damn, and we all knew about the casting couch. But now the Hollywood was shown with its pants down, so they projected, they pointed at the deplorables and say, no, this society is too terrible. We've got to venerate women, even though basically the only part of society that are really deeply racist and sexist is Hollywood, right? You go to a normal person, you go into a pub, right, and you go, I think women are stupid. Oh yeah, I don't like black people. They're going to chase you out there because they think you're a weirdo, right? That's why. That vision secured Shortland the job. No, your vagina secured her the job. They then delved into fashioning a script into an exploration of a found family, a test of Romanov's physical prowess in the face of the enemy, Taskmaster, which also came from the Red Room program. Then something which finally reveals Natasha that exists outside of her support circles. Five, there aren't many situations in the Avengers movie where she's alone, Shortland notes. Yeah, because it was about some grouping together. It was about togetherness and oneness. No, that's no good. And there aren't many situations in films where she's alone. Even when she physically moves in those films, it's like she's being observed. So the first thing I wanted to do was get her on her own, especially for female viewers, so we could see just what she'll be like unobserved. And again, listen, my neighbor's daughter, looking forward to it. I just don't think they're a major demographic, right? I think they're gonna I think it's probably gonna do about I think you're gonna get a third of the people you would normally get because of people who actually want to go see it, and another third who are being convinced via propaganda, hypnosis, whatever. But I think that's basically you're going to get 2/3 the normal, right? If I my guess, they're lucky they're going to hit 600 million, right? They're not getting anywhere near a billion. So on Friday Night Tights, I think they said something predicted like 150 million, something really low, like 300. So I don't know. Listen, I'm really intrigued. Okay, I'm really intrigued. Fine. So again, I'm glad you're making it for women, but again, you're making it for half your audience now. And again, you're making it for, I lied, a third of your audience, not half. Especially female, because women are really different when we're in public and when we're alone. Yes, in public, women tend to like to be attractive, right? Alone, they're not so important, right? And that's really important for this character. It was kind of crucial to me to know how does she walk when she's alone? How does she all this stuff? I wanted to see her as a woman first and a superhero second. Well, to be the superhero second, you've got to be a sexy woman. Again, this is harsh. I know you don't like hearing it, but to be a superhero, you've got to be a sexy woman, right? To be if you're a female superhero, to be a male superhero, you've got to be a sexy guy, right? You don't get the blob. Whereas you got to be like sex appeal is a very important part of being a superhero, right? And that male gaze is a very important part of sexiness. I'm sorry. Natasha's past family, also members of Black Widow training program, serve and reveal other facets of women, reuniting her with a fractured unit of little sisters, Yelena Belova, Mom Melina Vostokov, Rachel Wise, and Dad Alexei Shostakov, Harbor. I wonder who's the third Jew. Again, that Times of Israel, right? They were like, oh, so many Jewish women. Whoa! Okay. What was important to me was this family wasn't biological. Oh, you mean like they did in Guardians of the Galaxy twice? My children are adopted, so I related to the idea of a found family and loving people who they were. Okay, it looks like you're retreading on stuff rather than, but you would know that if you had any affinity for the genre. Here's the thing, that's the problem with hiring people because of a vagina rather than their affinity for the genre, which she said she had zero. That they don't realize what's been done before, right? It's been done before. And I just don't think I'm that interested. I don't think many people are. I don't adopted, so rather than biological makeup, I suppose you talk about a nuclear family, but sometimes your family, your found family is just as crucial. Honestly, something that's been really lost in the world is nuclear family. Nuclear family is the way to make good human beings. And it's something that's missing in the world, right? It just is. And Hollywood do their best to denigrate it all the time, which I think is why they're into found families, because they don't like the idea of a traditional nuclear family. And what does that mean? We looked at that as well. Shortland says the film has plenty of subtle sequences which allow audience to soak up relationship and dynamics that they have. There we go. They have helped to shape Romanov. I like moments where the characters are just existing. Again, this doesn't sound like... This sounds like the traditional modern Marvel comic book where they sit around eating, just existing. Yeah, we all sit around existing, okay? We want to see heroic people being heroic, doing heroic things. That's what we want. She moves us like there. There's really a great short sequence where two girls have just left the gas station. They're driving in a stolen car, and these two sisters are talking, and that's really beautiful. Okay, Thelma and Louise, fine. Then I really love the moment in the helicopter with David Harbour when he joins the two girls. It's almost the first tentative moments when the family rejoins. The same with Rachel Weisz when she rejoins. There's beautiful moments of OT Faben Lee as well, with OT, who I don't know who OT is. Whatever. When it came time for superhero moments, Shauna said she was determined to embrace them entirely, but from a new point of view. I guarantee you, it's not going to be from a new point of view, right? I guarantee you. There has to be a sense of truth within the fights. She explains. No. Go and read a comic book, right? There's no truth in those fights. I mean, I get really bored watching fights where I don't understand what's happening. So there's that too. Okay. Shortland says she talked a lot with Johansson, who consistently has done many of her own stunts in the Marvel films. She's amazing in stunts in the and in the action sequence because I hadn't done action sequences, so I wanted to do them better. What? No, okay, I haven't done this before. I haven't played the trombone before, so I'm going to play it better. Okay. And that's the sort of thinking that makes me not ecstatic about this movie, right? Not ecstatic. They accomplished that by going back to the idea of exposing... I like the idea of exposing... bit of Scarlett Johansson, I could get for that. Stop moving around! Exposing Natasha that is Preston on the edge. I wasn't interested in the polish. Shortland said I wasn't interested in the veneer. I wanted to see what was underneath, and then what was really beautiful. I wanted to have rawness and have the spectacle. Natasha creates the spectacle. And she's always at the center of it because of our shining star. She's our shining star. She's a heart of the movie. Well, okay, it's the name of the bloody movie, even though that, she's dead. Was like, and she was also a rough diamond. She could be really raw, effed up daughter, but then at the same time, she was kicking ass. To illustrate, she cites a sequence which the audience have already glimpsed when I love when Scarlet flies through the air over a prison in a Snow White suit. I don't really, honestly, I'm not that interested. I haven't really watched any of this stuff. Again, the Hype-nosis is completely over. I only watched the trailer for Shang-Chi today. It's been out all week. And then it was like, the trailer wasn't bad. It was better than that first trailer, but it's the MCU's over, baby. MCU's over. It was inspired by Nicole Kidman in Moulin Rouge, and I wanted to have the moment where we have all this male violence going on underneath, really chaotic, and a woman just floating above it, observing it. And that actually would be interesting if the sexual politics wasn't so insane today, right? If there wasn't this hatred of men running through everything, and then you could actually look at the differences, the different styles of men, like the brutish style of men, because the balletic beauty of women, that would have been interesting if it wasn't going to be laden with agenda by people who weren't very experienced at making this type of film and probably not very good at it, right? But again, I expect the quality of this to be the same quality of Loki, Winter Soldier, and WandaVision. The content of those, I think, were garbage. The quality, I think were normally high, where they reached the normal heights. While many assume that Black Widow will serve as a swan song for him, and Shortland is quick to challenge the idea, I very much treated this as at a time in her life, she explains, but I respected that the audience in an Endgame, so I wanted to connect her to a wider universe. She personally hopes there'll be more stories with Natasha's complex story worth revealing, depending on the reception. This one, she's very much open to tell them. She wants to do more. Okay, listen, she made a fair bit of money on this. Okay, in all fairness, but listen, I can tell you, when I look at this woman, I don't really think, she totally gets what 8-year-old boys like, right? She, like, when I look at this mum-looking figure, it's like it doesn't strike me that she knows it. And I see Scarlett Johansson looking attractive but not hot, and that's really a problem. It's really a problem, right? It's not for the male gaze, which is such an important part of this type of storytelling. If you like the male gaze, however, if you do like the male gaze, go check out my Indiegogo. Okay, plenty of male gaze there for you. Links in the video notes. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you are notified when new videos drop.